Abusiafo Kongonku TV sunie ebrasa nso aso sensema yensa so no yede ebremu na tew Asuom Krontihene ene nana amponim obodade nso ampa ene oprobigu anachese ne ho abanie na wedi akoma Mahama ena face otasmai Ghana na hini ne nsem bia oka yesese mampani na wabesi adwa isu wohwe na otu anamon ebi fa ya mamra no nsakire ya wo peso ye na face so ahwe esese ye na ye pem kwa yenim na yensa ye kiri ensem de waburu bi so pa ewumu a obeti afesu so na kwadwo Jantuah Inshira FM ene woni Ashanti Regional Minister Designate edi enkomo afa onmanyafo Simon Osemensa Bangola obeye ne basa trokan ho nsensem ne ade eye bebre abusua yensemre beko ne akwa akohwe sansem yampanifo yi edi atuda bomodna so be subscribe no share wa like na wa comment aka ho.
Countries like America and Canada and other developed nations, you wouldn't think about this. They can have the worst of presidents, but definitely they will be patient enough to make his time expire, and then through the same democratic means choose a new leader. It cannot be accepted, for instance, in America that the Marines, who have superior power and superior, might and all that, will gang up and then turn on the state of America and overthrow the president. It could never happen. So I want this to be in the dialogue of many people. National discussion should start on this. We have had the first independence constitution. We have had the second, the third, the fourth. We should not have the fifth one or the sixth one. This should be the only constitution that we can refer to. Of course, it can be amended. It can be reviewed. Some subtractions can be made. Some additions can be made. But the Fourth Republican Constitution of 1992 should not. It's impossible for any group of people, be they from the to please, as a matter of urgency, form a committee that will look into this issue. A committee that will visit and investigate all the violence and death in the election, and even in the previous election, that we had 8 people die, and then in this one, a few less also die. It's not acceptable. Our democracy is growing, and we must make sure we protect it in a way that it grows with all the grace and all the simplicity that other developed nations have grown. We should also make sure that violence during and after our elections is also reduced to zero. I am pleading with the President, John Dramani Mahama, the President, former President, now the former President who has become the current President, the history maker, to please, as a matter of urgency, form a committee that will look into this issue, a committee that will visit and investigate all the violence and death in the election, and even in the previous election, that we had 8 people die, and then in this one, a few less also die. It's not acceptable. Our democracy is growing, and we must make sure we protect it in a way that it grows with all the grace.
The catcher say the regional minister designate enche na yamano to me na watimi de abesom Ghana no owa this week nyina me na wo phone so and na me say waye busy so ba bia wo bia say wa ma me show menye enti o say okay wate ti wa sorry afri ba bia owo e na odi aba wo wi a wo betu ne fo because we there yeah Dr. Frank Amwakohene honorable regional minister designate honorable Machi
ajo mejo suminia
ohoye
na me de ben kwache me na so what to say
boko afisia pa finya me hu
okay afin ko batie afisa say na e onkunimdie ne nkankomu na hoode ne nkwaso
ami Afisa say ni ebehia ha no na ye kampuntu no bebre na wo kire say aye we phase 2 no edru ha edru 60% crew through market no na kwan no ekwayi it afisa say na ye expected them free ho because they say they are wafa
enti ebuna mempa ye say vet ni bibia beko totin na atimi aboa enti the first few months in office they're definitely going to get a very solid framework for Asante development because my core campaign no, across the various communities no me who say issues near bread and butter and helping the people for their businesses to thrive
come dem crofo
Charlie enti say nipa no na dwuma ekoso na otiminya de ono so odi be hwe ono na busua amanoni no nhida ne oni haw abai de nsa kanema bebre obi aba no wakati nani Jantuah so near Jantuah na ye. And for the next few months, there be a holistic assessment of all stalled projects in the region. Subsequent to that, me of Akufo na shas you, President Mills na shas you, Mahama na shas you, Nakufado na buy you. There be a assessment of all that because Mahama during the campaign, make a firm promise. Government is a continuous process. And here buying nice kana ya the start and here fa hone do buy ya buy a holistic assess na catalog of same then you focus the next few years no in making sure say these ones na actually was it me completely as I now what to say ya baba ye any other monumental whatever
they say bi wo ho dada ye wie
was it me
and no na be see ya wie
ye wie de wo ho no ye wie de wo ho na
that's powerful
if you ho kono then we now see what we can do to
and I'm sure said the war hono kra utimi wie kra na kra hallelujah my
it should be enough because at least secondary school say call you know a war on my region no the e-blocks up Mahama start 13 of them only about 4 pen are functional and even 4 are functional you in 2016 and it's expected to say also by now additional facilities about become you get to honia ya de foforo me were community now a serve woman community to expand they be anchor for and all that hospitals be and sakai and me nana kufa do buy on so start agenda 111 back open with me a commission here nana otufo me am nana epesi enye hiu konfanochi before see bit my hiu konfanochi no see timi yi pressure na da konfanochi no if you so be bit me ama peripheral facilities ni na atimi adding more of the referrals and now manage some of the cases competently. Once a bit my son, then we can now do a whole scale developmental renovation whatsoever ever confornochi. And as I quite that I never hona na kwa say and one the painting and about who said the Papa Mahama ye original. Now original old one ho. And with me any space for readers as so and a good plan to erect something that is befitting of a regional hospital for Greater Accra region. A similar thing now see to me here, so far as our sector near concerned. Asante Makuku, good. Nimi nu NMI Asante Mai. They knew I should enco a buy repairs to go for overproduction of nationwide. Now initially no they were producing almost 1 million tons of cocoa. And they produce just a little around 500,000. And the they are Santima cocoa production. One of the areas are Emma Yamanom near Papanom, the also be the moments are common area. I will sit down with sector players in that area. Then we see how holistically Mahama and the Boagana na Asantimantimis will be benefited from that. About mine and also so I remember Nyako Hunye in Suno. One of my campaigner, Bosumi Frehon. Prano itwa between Eastern region and Asante region Nanke was some constructed bridge bureau ever connected the two regions. My erected pillars no soon but say the biguso na etwemakono besinde omo ene ahojuma community na me koye sa campaign nyina I'll go there, I'll go back to them me campaign man na cities no kwa ani towns no kwa I went to the very far but there and so would now plan how to say enema akopra no pa enema kumpa but you see the issue of the fight against galamsey me ko ben woman what I noticed is say nipa no ni o the oya no enti wo dey so that for watch out 3 days to be free. Untimi for be continue for almost a year and 2. Ufri wa normal side echo. So you need to get the community to support whatever you are doing. And if they don't have any alternative skill whatsoever, you need to find them some. Or see a training woman in other areas. When you say, oh, say Galano Krana or ya, Obene Bibi, so bit my do bit me. Obi also my idea power. As I buy a warm moment alliances no my in a year. On bit my year, I'm an boy with a good production. Yet me streamlining, so extractive sector, no, the informal extractive sector, yet me regularizing, regulating in a manner say a bit more so deliberate, not me or buying so revenue. And you see another area you be looking at the forestry and the animal money now. Idea a day and road. Ideas because traffic will crew man. I don't know day too much. And see because say make a campaign say me call friends say if you come as be a call offense. I should have alternative routes. Me if I first one, me na me if I all these areas are very choked. Now meet me and then them who we are just in there. We bet my very for Mark copy. A friend say, I gonna quite be the whole copy boy mine. The remoire the copy of face so now chrono. Into all these ring routes, we need to commit some level of resources to make sure say a bit my. Whilst at that, no so I'm in touching. I will promise say 5 more, but I don't go. It is so I'm in touch with me, regional communication officer, acquire video and a press engagement on so I'm in touch to tell the people of Ashanti, my baby, I'm going to do here. Your basis will be a holistic assessment. I will see Kaya I did so I'm in touch. This is convince Papa Mahama no my scado for your crime before your money did. You can buy and I might say no my minimum of no money in the boom. Minimum for money in here. And these are the things that come to mind. Now I'm up because I'm there for them. And anything I'm from a Gen Z regional secretary because
TikTok general secretary.
Yeah, man, I'm on TV. I'm on radio.
In fact, Eugene Oseentry or say NDC won on social media. We are there, they know say a while no more. And okay, phone is an offer Modiada. TV crew, and who cost media that will pay. One of the top 3 politicians on the media on BD number. And remember, you are more animals or more scholarships, bit my boy, more career guidance, bit my boy. It will be the afraid because me SS. Me geography, but I'm a doctor. Me geography. Me geography. Me know some biology. They can call med lab, and so me call medicine, and as now me say call doctor of medical lab science. What been do? I call MBA. I'm not do no. There are a lot of career guidance I need to let them see. As a former student leader, as my next president, I will spend time to engage with most of these students so that we can have a common plan as young people of Ashanti and young people of Ghana, because it's very important. If the youth buy into your developmental agenda, they would own it. And when they will own it, they will make sure that whatever you do, there will be sustainability whatsoever. And broadly, these are the areas I'll be focusing on. And I'm sure, with this in mind, we'll be able to, in all, implement GM vision. People's Manifesto 2020 and the resetting the Ghana Manifesto in 2024. Or the Baba Buana resetting Ghana and resetting Asantima. And resetting agenda and the Asantima, and your mommy, because when you see being a time I didn't come up, we did not over Babachia. I wanted to home. Now, no one I'll quote Gina, baby, I'll be quite
as a way,
some baby, I will quite down. You say, well, scorpions in Namo. It's all bad day, you will be dying.
And she is in there. Yeah, Branty, so dear, maybe I will do it today, and no problem. And the end there. Quite a first said them, we are dance kitchen with me, I'll do that. And I'm a mom bring me about so as is your mother. Hey, me didn't buy na and them. Oh my God, to what's in the hands of I see a baby. I see a baby. I don't know. Be a pro. When I had a more competition. How much I see how more everything the place together, but you hear a lot of inputs to be able to put the place back in shape. And you compose you say, oh, you're regional minister at now, but you compose you say, keep the place.
That's deep.
And see, Ubetima will fear wow to why you're comfortable over there, over office, I be upon knowing how one person receive you on my asses. I can do that, but you can have your family elsewhere. Wow, fear near dead. When you make us out to wow, fear, the idea, yeah, by a Japadi and who diamond, I say, it's not done anywhere. Because I say, regional ministers are buying for now, they are bubbles. No, when a honomet now, Papa Mahama now, Dante. It's not as though say be a place, a abandoned Nibina, ABR. Basada dana basada da kra do ba betina ho e die na me ba ye ho ye basa am num ko gina ha ye di hu koma muyi e mu pa se mu be gya ma me se metina so years do ana man do am
na ye ya ma 6 months pe na ko ya de ni ye amani e de be ma ukrum ha no
ka no na aye basa na tetia pro na ye san de bi ensida entino na me expect say me ofasi mo se mensan ka ofafo de kom ye japade ma o mo ofasi ba we de ofama me se sifom
wajaka
I don't know be from
anyway so mo ho ne hala mo ko se
ye ko competition
I'm not sure see how mo put the place together but you hear a lot of inputs to be able to put the place back in shape and you compose you say oh, you're regional minister at now but you compose you say keep the place.
That's deep.
And see, Ubetima will fear wow to why you're comfortable over there, over office, I be upon knowing how one person receive you on my asses. I can do that, but you can have your family elsewhere. Wow, fear near dead. When to make us out to wow, fear, the idea, yeah, by a Japadi and who diamond, I say, it's not done anywhere. Because I say, regional ministers are buying for now, they are bubbles. No, when a honomet now, Papa Mahama now, Dante. It's not as though say be a place, a abandoned Nibina, ABR. Basada dana basada da kra do ba betina ho e die na me ba ye ho ye basa am num ko gina ha ye di hu koma muyi e mu pa se mu be gya ma me se metina so years do ana man do am
na ye ya ma 6 months pe na ko ya de ni ye amani e de be ma ukrum ha no
ka no na aye basa na tetia pro na ye san de bi ensida entino na me expect say me ofasi mo se mensan ka ofafo de kom ye japade ma o mo ofasi ba we de ofama me se sifom
wajaka wajaka minim say e ka wo ho e wo so ye but how are you seeking minim say obe planning there but ekwan be so na ebetimi a revive ama at least hokra ya akona ya krabeshi okra timi ye tourist attraction.
Sure. Local government act now source of funding for the RCC more of a percentage of the common fund donations among other IGF driven sticks are RCC in Betiki and the ones are there never be a public winner audition kwa kwadwane when it me ni na wi obi abedi hu fa so kra at least eyam no de me ana metia no anti yankopon ya adom na ko parliament na ye interview ni bibia na I go through you be have a thorough discussion about it. I'm sure say nkofo efrefre me ne where said ye mama nom kra ni age especially mo am kodi asa odwum during campaign no so the matching was we are me sure say krum here no yeah betimi I resist something to start say you try no udware wa frusu na papa hu say udware wa frusu na mama udware wa frusu no say no me bani nya obedwai na fi ya babeje ne dia afefa otiri mi ameki sure say
we be happy for fans ne dia
and the next start bibia papa mama we say there be a central region na ene na say mabune ne timamofo no mani abre definitely there central government will equally
na central government ye nkwa ye be gada ma ya de no asa ye so pen hwe ye nkasa be ye be raise fans wa ha obi wo luvers afabra wo je ni abro
mabuna na me hu wo
yeah, there
is a revolution.
Minim say adwuma na wo ye no eso but uti mpanifo dodo na you have the support. One of the things nkofo ebusa means mbusa and then am can be 2 minutes sanipa sisi a wenye nipa bebre afrɛ obi okra no mfrɛ oda but wa frɛ obi a hu osre obesesa.
In God we trust, and omo a ofra o share omo na o sane social, and at least from a time from student days all the way to main party politics and all that, I've noticed say okonya tamfo bia utimi di wachi from student front to say baby obedru bia na otata ina adofo so a baby obedru bia na mo ba on board to help you. Most of the people are Boama be regional secretary, a course so ye ni bibiano. Most of them I've known them all the way from school days. There are some people that are doing election there, doing the administration. They are in other regions, but they volunteered say they will come here and come and support me in the region. Yeah, resource coalition. Me IT engineers, ne computer engineering students, ne friends say. Engineers from colleagues in other regions, they all came down. Say would they grow now or hackwa here in Ugasia, but say a young boy by a regional secretary and Ugasia for Toaba. We had a very robust coalition system in the region, and they were from all over. And what I've noticed is Abobia did cover being a sumjuno. And I'm hoping and I'm praying say BBS is something. Because I don't see why I have to change from something that is giving me goodwill. Again, you boom me over social media, main media. Oh, Brandon wants see. Oh, I'm penning one Sam. Oh, Nim Casa. Oh, Nim saying, "You have me started to me the attempt there." Then as a miana, Matumam Nana, what to Intimiano. Menka say, Many Pammy, any pound for sauce beba. Marco Munia idea. Bibi corners who say, I'm not going to know near the air. One time and I on them because I mean, Tiana, scrap it to me. A woman, I'm
on the Amico Fia, many missions, me, I'm a Tiana, so I want how do you eat it? Tiana, so I'm about to make our I said, so we'll say, oh, by Metty. It's Amico Fia,
you're fast. If you take me as a player, I'm off field. Now, more, I'm a coach. Oh, Bobo now or field, so I never be brown.
Yeah.
I'm a actually no. I'm the first regional minister. Nakoponya Adam na Yajimitma. Mahu regional minister send the donor. Baby will be fire. I'm one. No, Mabuana, much me for Sakwa. Baby will be fire and so didn't Zabreno. The material in our son tem. And chairman could do last year, Nansana cockhead, so if we are careful, had I be bringing the say, over some Buana, Bibia Koso, because we deny. Your man so Dutch here because and they see about the tumor and he bowed in the shamara. And Basse bedrew baby bedrew your man so see a ma or Babnubi, a Konyamaba, a Santimamha as regional minister near Cocasa, Makuini be by and Yama, edging someone as the man Bruno. I was say a good example said the bear that should be a man so soon, Konya. No more so a baby or banu you or babuna. Nay, your ban now, what I say now, Bibia. You bet me them are calling the obey soon. I can say, or babun by and cried and do to me for more babuna one dear, or bet me a day, Ajumano, it goes beyond NDC and PP.
Yeah.
A communal labor to make sure say we make a case as young people of Ashanti region, as young people of Ghana, and I'm very sure and confident saying Uncle Ponya Aduma. Mobile Madam number Boame said the bear Mefa Quine Soa, acquired in Shra any a year in Puntu Bebre.